Hello, Craig Astor again, and I'm running for Congress in the 2nd Congressional District of Kentucky. I live in Hodgenville, Kentucky, the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln, and I'm running as a third-party candidate because I believe the two parties has failed the American people. And the two parties likes to keep the voters divided over single issues or over what I would call these hot-button issues. Whether it's abortion, whether it's the Second Amendment, whether it's family values issues, but also even taxes. And I believe that the graduated income tax is a failure in the American economy and the American system. And the reason is because, one, it's one of the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto that Karl Marx and Engels introduced back in the 1800s. And because we have such a convoluted, complex tax structure that allows certain loopholes and certain write-offs for certain corporations and businesses and individuals, that everyone seems to be paying a different share of the tax burden. And what I would recommend is that we totally scrap the IRS tax code of 70,000 some pages and get to a flat consumption tax. And I feel that what this would do is allow everyone to contribute in some form, some way or another to the national budget. That when someone consumes a product, and I believe the food probably needs to be exempted because all people need to eat, and that I believe when someone goes to buy a $20,000 Ford or Chevy or another type of vehicle, that they would be paying a certain sales tax that would go to the federal government to help support our roads, our bridges, our infrastructure, as well as our national defense, as well as the parks, the public schools, that is vital to the general welfare of the people. And at the same time is that when someone like a drug dealer or someone that's involved in illegal operations, when they go purchase a $200,000 Lamborghini, then they would also be paying taxes to the federal government. Or someone that would buy an airplane for $2 million or a yacht for $5 million, that they would be paying a tax to the federal government, because I believe that it takes taxes to run a government. But it seems like the Republicans, they like to say that we don't need to raise taxes on anybody. And a lot of them have signed, if not most of them, have signed a paper from a certain individual that they pledge not to raise taxes on anyone. And because they've signed this pledge, and because they do not want taxes to go up on the rich, the multi-rich, the super rich, because they believe in this trickle-down economic theory that the rich are the ones that create the jobs and create businesses to hire the people, that we need to keep their taxes low. Well, my wife and I started a restaurant back in 2009, February of 2009, in the worst time of year as well as the worst economy. And we didn't ask for a tax write-off or a tax subsidy to try to open up this business. We went down to the local bank. We were able to borrow money because our credit was good. We signed on the dotted line to be able to buy equipment and to be able to renovate a building and bring it up to code. And it was our investment. And because of that, that's the reason why we sacrificed long hours. I worked there as washing dishes, after getting off of work, working midnight shift as an aircraft mechanic. And I would wash dishes just for basically hugs and kisses if I was lucky to get that. But I did not ask for subsidies or tax write-off or government money to open up this business. But we see a lot of crony capitalism going on to where the Republicans especially, they like to take from the many and enrich the few. Their few crony corporate CEOs or their friends, so that they can start businesses that they can become rich at. And because they have no skin in the game, if it works, then they make millions or billions of dollars. And if it doesn't, they really don't lose anything because they never had any of their own money involved in this scheme. And I believe both sides do it. So that's the reason why I think we just need to totally get away from this graduated income tax, get to a national sales tax. Also, I think that what Congress needs to do is that whenever they introduce something in the budget, that they, at that time, make the way to pay for it. Instead of borrowing the money against future generations to pay for it, that right then and there, they need to come up and says, okay, for us to fund this war, we need this much money. And right then, they would figure into the budget how much money they need and adjust the sales tax so that these projects can be financed. And I think that we've gotten away from that, and because we're able to borrow money from the Federal Reserve or getting other countries to buy our debt, which that seems like that's coming to a halt because we've been printing way too much money in the Federal Reserve, and Congress borrows that money, ties future generations to it, and because our taxes do not go up and because entitlement programs never get cut, that we think everything's okay. But this needs to stop. This is an unsustainable course that we're on, and eventually it will lead to our ruin as a superpower, as a country, as a free and independent people. So we must adjust our course right now. I'm an aircraft mechanic, and there's a system called a rudder limiter system on the airplane that after the airplane is flying, the gear is up and locked in the hole, and the wings are cleaned up, that what happens is that the system limits the pilot's input to the rudder. Because having an airplane flying at 0.5, 0.8 Mach, you do not want a pilot to inadvertently put a full right rudder or full left rudder input into the system and kick the rudder all the ways over, because going at that speed or even a lot slower, it would rip the rudder right off the airplane, and then there would be definitely death, mayhem, and destruction. And I feel that there are people that want to put a full left rudder in that would lead to our destruction, but also those that would want to put a full right rudder in. What we need to do is have workable solutions that both parties realize the course that we're on, and that we need to adjust our path to avoid this mountain of debt that we are eventually going to run into, and that will eventually be the demise of our country. And we can see that right now, what's going on in Greece as well as other European countries. So debt is a hard taskmaster, and it does take away our liberties and our freedoms. And so if I'm elected to Congress in the 2nd Congressional District, I vow that I will work with both sides to bring about common sense solutions that keeps taxes as low as possible, that keeps the corporate taxes as low as possible, so that corporations can bring their money home instead of leaving them offshore. Leave it here in our country, creating jobs, growing their businesses, growing their corporations, so that our people can get back to work and be employed in factories and small businesses, so that we can start manufacturing goods again and either export them or that we consume it ourselves. And that is one of the characteristics of a superpower, is that we consume our own products instead of relying upon other countries to manufacture our goods for us to buy. So my name is Craig Astor. I'm running for Congress as a 2nd Congressional District. I ask that you would check out my campaign at www.craigastor, that's CRAIGASTOR.com, craigastor.com, and you can find things about my biography. You can find some things about how to contact our campaign if you would like to volunteer or if you would like to contribute to our campaign. But more importantly, get involved in the political process. Send this video and let people know about my campaign by word of mouth. And if you can tell 5 or 10 people in your family, your sphere of influence, those that you work with, those that you're acquainted with, that just check out my campaign, my candidacy, then that's all I ask. And if the people would want me to be their representative, then I'll be elected. And if not, then I respect the right of the voice of the people. So once again, my name's Craig Astor, running for 2nd Congressional District in the central part of Kentucky, and I ask for your vote and support. Thank you, and have a great day.